Hey guys, welcome to a chapter a day, the feedback version, because you guys have been incredible with all the feedback you guys have been providing with the last 6 or 7 readings or so that we did of my journey of discovery through my African eyes. You guys, I'm overwhelmed and I'm very appreciative of your feedback. Those who sent in video clips on WhatsApp, thank you so much. In fact, what we're going to do today, we're going to look at that feedback and I'll respond to it because some of you had a few questions. I'll respond to that. And if you want to keep sending more reactions, please do so. Here's the WhatsApp number, 0722 515 095. If you're sending from out of the country, of course, you know, +254 722 515 095. And the responses, like I said, have been overwhelming. And not just that, Bob Mwangi, just hand me that piece of art over there. I'm telling you, man, Bob and Gitch have been working this ship. But listen, look at this. Look at this piece of art here. This was sent by a young lady by the name of Salamawit Zemene. She's actually Ethiopian, living here in Kenya, works with leather products. And this was put on a piece of leather. Look at that. A raw piece of leather. Salamawit put this together. And check it out. In fact, it looks like the map of Africa right there in the background if you look at it. And she just pasted the picture of my book on it. Salamawit, thank you so much for this. Is incredible, incredible. And you know, the reactions have been exactly like Salamawit's. Everyone's so appreciative of the things we've done. And I appreciate it most of all, folks. And if you still want to buy the book, it's still available. Go online, Textbook Center Limited in Kenya. Ask for Elvis, he'll deliver to where you are. Or even Prestige Books here in Nairobi. Ask for Ahmed. They're all online, folks, and they deliver all over the world. And also Nuria Books, nuria.co.ke. They also have the book. It's still available. I'm going to go straight to your reactions, folks. This is incredible. Okay, we'll start off here. This is a good friend of mine, actually. We grew up together. Listen to Victor Kibe right here.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Victor Kibe, a good friend of Jeff Koinange. We have known each other all our lives. Actually, we grew up together. We were probably born in the same year, but certainly went to the same primary school together. So I first knew him in St. Mary's. I think I was not in Hospital Hill, but we met in St. Mary's, and we did high school together. So those were my school years with him. Now, Jeff was my head boy, so you can see his leadership ability and skills were there from a very young age, and that's why now he's been able to contribute so much to this world, so much to our existence as Africans. Actually, this book has contributed so much to bringing the African and Africans out into the world. So, Jeff, you have done that for us. Congratulations. Now, apart from the childhood years, another part. In fact, actually, once I read the book, I read it within 2 or 3 days, very quick time. I called him up and I said, "Look, I've never read such a book." And he remembers that, I'm sure. And he remembers one of the first people to call him up and say, "I've read the book." So he was even like kind of surprised because he didn't think people would read it very quick. But I was one of the first people who read it, and I called him and I told him. But another thing about this book also reminded me, and why I'm so excited about it, is that it talks about a lot of African countries that he has been. Okay, I have not been as many African countries as he has, obviously, but and I'm not a reporter, so I'm seeing Africa and some African countries in a different light. Another thing is, congratulations on this Father's Day and your family. Congratulations on that, and just that you have really done such a wonderful job and given justice to our generation. Your age mates and our generation, you have done us justice, and very thankful for that, and keep on with this wonderful work. Asante.
All right, Victor Kibe there, asante sana to you too. And like Victor said, He read this book a while back when it first came out, and he was one of the first to call me. He said, Jeff, I've never read a book like this. I read it in like 2-3 days. This is Victor telling me. And you know, Victor has traveled the continent. He used to work for NGOs, traveling to the worst spots on the continent, the most horrible places. Like you mentioned, Bunia in DRC. He was also in a place called Jamena in Chad. He's a pilot working for all these NGOs, and he's seen the Africa that I have seen. And by the way, happy belated birthday, Victor. You celebrated a birthday on the 30th of June. Happy belated. And thank you so much for your reaction, and lots of love to you and your family. All right, more reactions here. Let's go to the next one. Here we go.
Thank you, man, Jeff Koinange. Thank you for the time you've taken for the book. Really appreciate. Thank you for letting me see my Africa, your Africa, our Africa, through your eyes. It's been a great book from chapter 1. That is, how do you call it? Fatherhood, until chapter 16, where there is, oh, not my country. It has been great reading it. This is a book that has kept me glued, reading and reading and reading over and over again. However, the best I would have said, or I could say, is, as others are talking about, the Kagwe special. I can't really miss out by saying these are Kagwe special for the moment. And just like I got it, others can get it. And you've been a great man. We love you, and thanks.
You didn't leave your name there, but thank you so much. The Kagwe special. You can get it. I can get it. We all can get it. Oh, that's sweet, man. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
Hi, Jeff. I'm Benazir Chelimo. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Eldoret, and I'm a huge fan of yours. I follow you on Twitter, Instagram, and I've been watching your videos on YouTube. It's really an amazing journey through my African eyes. The episodes of A Chapter a Day I've been following very closely. I've been recommending it to friends and family so that they can watch them. It's really, really amazing and so inspiring. Unfortunately, I don't have the book yet, but I'm going to get it soon. And I'm hoping to catch up with the whole journey of Through My African Eyes. What I would love to is for you to be uploading more YouTube videos, not only about Through My African Eyes, your book, but also life experiences, how your encounters, everything. I would love to watch them because you are really good at storytelling, and it's so inspiring for everyone to catch up with you, to learn and follow through your journey because it inspires everyone. Personally, I'm so obsessed with your work and it has really inspired me, and you've been actually my mentor. I've been working hard to make an impact just like you. The things you did, it's so amazing. Really. Thank you.
All right. Benazir Chelimo in Eldoret, El Dorado, LD. Thank you so much. You're only 21 years old. Thank you for being inspired. You know, if I can do it, you can do an even better job. So keep getting inspired. And I hope you're able to get the book at some point. Please do. If not, let us know. Maybe we can organize something. You just never know. Let's keep going. The reactions coming in thick and fast. Who's next?
Hey, this is Prince, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents regarding the videos that Jeff has been doing on his book, Through My African Eyes. Well, I have not read the book. I have never read it, but I was so happy when Jeff decided to jump on the YouTube space and give us, the video experience. And yeah, of course, to watch a video about a book is one thing. To read the book itself is another. But I am so happy that now we have the option of both, and I encourage all other authors, African authors, to jump on these 21st century platforms.
All right, Prince there. Thank you. Thank you. You haven't read the book, you admit, but you love the space that we're in right now in the 21st century, talking about this almost live to people around the world. Thank you, Prince. Appreciate that feedback. My goodness.
Hi,
Feedback.
I'm Milan from Eldoret, and I just wanted to give my views about the book. It's a nice book through my African eyes, and also like just to commend you for doing a good job, like sitting down with the fans and support and followers, like just to give an explanation of your book to those who cannot afford to purchase the book, and also like just to congratulate you for the good job that you've actually been doing, because you are actually an inspiration to so many people out there, both who just want to be journalists and in life as general. Continue doing the good job, and God bless.
All right, Eliad from Eldoret, thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You guys have been absolutely amazing. More reactions. Look at this. Reactions from across the world. Listen to this one.
Hey guys, my name is Muha Elmi. I'm a medical student in Russia. I was following the book through my African Eye by Jeff Koinange. I really liked the book. It was incredible episodes. There's a lot of content in the book of which I liked it so much. The resilience, the hard work, the determination, the part of the parenthood also. That's the part that I liked most. And I'm looking forward to get more about it. Thank you very much.
All right, Muha Elmi, all the way from Moscow, Russia, medical student. Goodness gracious me. This is amazing, folks. This is amazing. I never expected any of this, but it's good to see that you guys are being inspired from across the planet, from Moscow to Minnesota, from Washington State to Warsaw, and points in between. Thank you so much, guys. More responses. Take a listen.
So, hi Jeff, I've been following your episodes of your book through my African eyes. Episode 1 to 7 that you did today, they're amazing, they're just wonderful. My family and I have just followed them so well. Awesome, we like them. I was just thinking that maybe would you consider reading other books like that, maybe your friends' books or any other biographies or popular books, and do that for us. We'll appreciate. You're doing it so well, explaining so well. We just love them. And I've now seen what you've been through your African eyes. I also think that you've been blessed. I mean, you've been able to be on that, what you're calling the forefront, the first seat, the first row of the best things in the world. And that makes me believe that my son will also make it. Thank you.
That's right. You didn't give your name, but you're right. Your son will definitely make it. Thank you so much for that response. And what you asked, would I want to read other people's books, friends' books? Absolutely. Why not? But there's something called copyright. They would have to agree to that. But that's something to consider for sure. But thank you. And yes, as long as you're inspired, your kids are inspired, your friends are inspired, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all. These responses are so many. I don't know where to go from here. There's so many. Okay, let's listen to a couple more.
Hey, my name is Mary. I read Jeff's book a week ago, and I must say that I was inspired and challenged. When you hear the name Koinange and later learn that it is actually related to Kenyatta, you'll be forgiven to think that Jeff's life has been a walk in the park. But I'm glad that Jeff's story is like any other story every one of us has. A story of determination and courage and bravery to follow your dreams at whatever cost. And just to mention, Jeff's mom is a woman of steel.
Mary. And guess what? You share the same name as her. My mother's name is Mary. So thank you for that. It's amazing. I will tell her. I'll tell her, Mary said, you are a woman of steel, Mom. And so are you, Mary, and all those women out there who have raised kids single-handedly. Thank you. thank you for the amazing work you've done. Folks, the reactions have been incredible. Keep them coming if you can. Just send it to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Jeff Koinange Live. Subscribe. Send us a comment. The WhatsApp number I gave you earlier on, I'll give it to you again. 0722 515 095. If you're out of the country, +254 722 515 095. You can still purchase the book. Textbook Center Limited, Prestige Bookshop Limited, and also Nuria Books, nuria.co.ke. So many reactions, folks. But you know what? We're going to stop it for now in terms of that, because there's no way I can leave you guys without telling you a little story. And this past week reminded me of a friend that I met more than 10 years ago. One of the very few people that I can actually call my friends. Come with me. I'll tell you more about it. By the way, this story is not in the book, so you wouldn't find it in Through My African Eyes, but maybe it might be my next book. And the story is about this man right here. I'll tell you, one of the most amazing human beings I ever met. The late, great Bob Collymore. And it's funny, the first time we met, this will kill you. This will knock you out. So, remember the original bench at the Fairview Hotel, the one with the waterfall behind? So we used to pre-tape that show way back in the day. Pre-tape it during the day and then air it the same evening. So this particular day, my guest was Michael Joseph, then Safaricom CEO. So Michael had been coming on the show a few times, and when he came, there'd be security all around him, just like most CEOs. There'll be security spread out all over the place. So this particular time, he walks with this guy. There's this guy beside him, bald, clean-shaven, glasses, and he had this thing in his ear. And I said, oh my goodness. And I told Michael, I said, look, looks like you have upped your security game, and now you have like Secret Service here, people with things in their ears. I made a joke, and Michael doesn't joke very often. And he made some comment that I simply cannot repeat on air. But as we're walking to the bench now to record this show, this bodyguard sits there by the restaurant. And as we're walking with Michael, I turn back and I tell the waiter, listen, say chochote nataka, just give him whatever he wants, as he's chilling there waiting for his boss. And we sit down, do the bench, and it's great show as always. It was great. We finish, and Michael, as we're getting up, this is about 30 minutes or so later, Michael gets up and says, Jeff, let me introduce you to somebody. And we walk back to that guy who's at the table. And he says, Jeff, meet Bob Collymore. He works for us in South Africa for Vodacom, and he's here for a few weeks. Oh, by that time, he's had his coffee or whatever it is, or tea, because he's English. And we exchanged pleasantries, and we left it at that. I didn't think much. He didn't say anything else. I didn't ask, and they left. So literally a few weeks later, there I am, sitting down, watching TV, and it's Safaricom. They have a live press conference. Michael Joseph is announcing who his successor is going to be. And as he's announcing, he says the name, and it doesn't quite register on me. But this guy walks up to the podium. Guess who it is? That same bodyguard, bald, clean-shaven guy with the glasses. I almost fell off my seat. This guy was the guy who was taking over from MJ, the guy that I said, oh, Mpatia Kakitu. Imagine, and this just goes to show you, you never know who you're gonna meet and at what point. You just never know. So always be good to everybody. That's a lesson I learned on that day. And from then on, Bob got my number from somewhere, and we started talking. We became friends. I would safely say I was one of his oldest friends. So we would talk on the phone, and one day he invited me over to his house, and I invited him over to my house, and it was like that for a while. We started developing a great relationship. One day he calls me and says, I'm gonna put together a group, and we can meet every Tuesday, for instance. And we could just hang out, talk about Kenya, talk about the future, talk about politics, talk about anything outside of work. And he literally put together this amazing group of guys. I mean, look, you look at from Bharat Thakur, the CEO of Scan Group, Patrick Kwaku, the group CEO, Radio Africa, Peter Kenneth, well-known businessman, former politician, former assistant minister for treasury, well-known people. Ali Khan Sachu, the well-known investment banker. Lamin worked for Standard Bank at the time. All these guys, he was with Joshua Oigara, Group CEO KCB, the youngest in our group. Although everyone thought I was the youngest, Joshua is the youngest. And Bob put together this group and would meet very often. Would meet almost every Tuesday if we could, those who were around. And there was a couple of other people as well. And we formed a great group. We called ourselves the boys, even though we're all, much older than boys, but we were the boys. And we would meet year after year. Bob was CEO, Bob was doing his thing, and Bob was the most amazing kind of guy, most amazing kind of leader. I mean, one day he would meet with kings and princes and dine with them. The next day he's riding the matatu to Huruma and Madare and Dandora with people like Giuliani, hanging out. That's the kind of leader that Bob was. This man was incredible. And he knew that Kenya was his home. He knew that he belonged here. And he made sure that he did things according to what his vision was. And his vision was a corrupt-free, transparent Kenya. He knew this. And he was a great guy, and he went about it. Now, 2017, he's diagnosed with acute myeloid lymphoma. That's blood cancer. And he's rushed to hospital in London. He spent the next 9 months there inside an insulated room. He gets out of it, he fights it, and he comes back home, but the thing comes back again, and he kept fighting. Bob was a fighter all the way to the very end. One day, I remember this very like it was yesterday. It was about the middle of June. I was busy doing, remember that show, East Africa's Got Talent? We were busy doing judging at the M-Pesa Foundation, way down on exit 16 from the Thika Superhighway. We're busy judging these entries. And we had like 4 crazy days from Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This was the Tuesday, the 4th day of judging. And I was knackered. It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening. I was knackered and I was saying, goodness, we just finished. I want to go home and sleep because the next morning I was going to do radio as always. At 4 a.m. I was going to wake up. So I get in my car and I see a phone call right there. It's Peter Kenneth. PK, we call him. PK says, listen, Jeff, you need to come to Bob's house right now. I said, Peter, I'm tired, man. There's no way I'm coming up. We had 4 days of judging. I'm exhausted. I'm going home. He says, Jeff, I'm not going to tell you again. Come to Bob's house right now. Peter has never done anything like this before. I mean, Peter is usually laid back and he's cool. And if you tell him something, he'll take it. But this day, there's something about that tone that I said, you know what? I better go. Down the Thika Superhighway, exit out, come over Wayaki Way, get on the bypass, end up at Bob's house. It was about 9:30, then it took about an hour, about 9:30. The guys had already eaten, they were settling down, relaxing, and I walk in. And as usual, I'm, because I'm known to use 4-letter words every now and then. And I'm like, guys, what the? Right? And I'm, what the? And they're all sitting there. They're all really chill. They're quiet and sober. And I sense there's something wrong here. And it was Bob. Bob was the one who said, look, thanks for coming over, Jeff. I was just telling the guys that I don't have much longer to live. Bob saying, I said, what? What the? And I begin my expletives. And I sit down and he explains. Says the cancer has come back, it's overwhelming, and I don't think I'm going to make it through the month of July. And everybody's there sitting quietly, no one's saying anything. In the meantime, Bob had reached out into his cabinet and Bob was a whiskey collector, so he had like about 162 bottles of whiskey from around the world. And he reached into the cabinet, and you could just imagine a cabinet full of whiskeys from around the world. He reached out and took out a special bottle. And he poured it and gave each and every one of us. Some of us don't even drink whiskey. He says, guys, let's drink to this. So we drank and we were trying to take it all in, and it was very overwhelming because we always, 2 years before that, he had beat this thing. He had been in hospital for so long. He had defeated this cancer. But that day, it looked like he was really sober and very succinct about the way forward. So we sat and we drank that whiskey and we chilled for a bit, and my tiredness, my fatigue all disappeared in an instant. And we finished that, and we all walked out, and we went our separate ways. And then this was a Tuesday, right? So the same Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days later, I'm chilling with my mom and my sister Shiro. We're having lunch at the club, and I get a phone call, and I see it's Bob. And I pick it up and I say, hey, Bob, what's up? He says, look, you guys around? Are you around? Can you come over? And I said, Bob, I'm having lunch with my mom and my sister, so can I pass? He says, look, it would be really good if you came. That's how Bob was. He would just say one word and you literally wake up. So he said, look, it would be really good if you came over. So I told my mom and sis, I said, listen, I have to go over to Bob's. Do you mind? I'll be about an hour or two. Just give me some time. And he said, go. Took off, straight to Bob's. As I get there, everyone is there. PK is there, PQ is there, Bharat is there, Joshua is there. They all show up. I'm saying, wow. And Bob, as usual, meets us at the door. He's at the door. He meets us. We walk in, and we could tell he's having trouble with his back. He was having major back problems. And we said, listen, Bob, are you okay? He says, yeah, my back is killing me, but it's okay. And he walked us all the way in, and we sit down, and we chill, and we have usual. I'm the guy who goes and gets drinks for everybody, and we sit down and we're chilling. And he says, listen, guys, remember what I told you the other day that I may not make it past, through the month of July. Look, I think it's going to be sooner. So here's what I want you guys to do. And he laid out the entire plan of how he wanted to be buried. And there we are, we're sitting there wondering, what the hell's going on? He says, Bharat, you're going to do this. PK, Peter Kenneth, you're going to do this. PQ, Patrick Kwaku, you do this. J.O., Joshua, you do this. And Jeff, this is what you want. He gave us all assignments. And he says the rest, one boy, his beautiful wife, would take care of. And there we are, we're saying, goodness, Bob, we're going to meet this Wednesday, right? We're supposed to meet again this coming Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to meet again this week. He says, yeah, but you know what? You guys just keep that in mind. 2 hours later, and his back is still killing him. He gets up, he walks us all to the door. He walks us to the door, and he bids us farewell. And we go, and we're all silent. We're all dumbfounded. We don't know what to do. I go back to my lunch, late lunch now, 2 hours later. It was fine. Mom and Shiro still there waiting, and I explained to them. And we finish off the day. That's Saturday. Sunday, Monday, I'm on the radio from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., Hot 96. And I think it was about the 7 o'clock hour, there's some breaking news. I see a missed phone call from Patrick Kwaku, but I don't pick it because I'm on the air. And I see some breaking news all of a sudden on Citizen Television. Bob Collymore, Safaricom CEO, is dead. Oh my God. I've never been so shocked in my life. It was, and everything made sense now. That dinner on the Tuesday, the Saturday event at his house, it all made sense. The man knew. And not only did he know, he planned. He didn't want an extensive week of mourning. He wanted to be cremated right away. He wanted the service to be over the same week. He wanted people to go on with their lives. That was Bob. That was my guy there. Always intuitive, incisive, not wanting any pomp and circumstance and celebration, none of that. He just wanted to go quietly into the sunset and life goes on. So again, everything kicked in after work. We all rushed to his house and we're all there planning exactly as he said, exactly as he wanted, just to make sure that his final journey was as smooth as possible. So then he's cremated the next day. We're all at Karaoke, very tearful event. And then the day after that was the funeral service at All Saints Cathedral. And we're there. And I'm the MC, and the president is there, and the officials are there, everyone is there. And it was incredible. I can't believe that, everything went as it did. So as Peter Kenneth, PK, is reading his eulogy. In fact, let me let you listen in. Listen to what Peter said. In the middle of his eulogy, he mentions this.
He eventually went into his whiskey store and opened a very special reserve blended whiskey that he had saved many years for a special guest. He insisted we become the special guest. And he insisted that we all share the whiskey, even for those who don't drink whiskey.
So then Peter sets that up. And, we thought that's the end of it, okay? The president gets up to speak. And he gives his tribute to Bob. What a great guy he was. He loved Kenya. He loved Africa. What a fantastic human being he was. He says, look, guys, I'm committed. We're going to take care of Wambui. We're going to make sure everything is okay. And we're going to make sure that Bob's memory lives forever. And then before he ends his speech, guess what he says? Take a listen.
My one disappointment, I was supposed to have gone back to collect something that had been reserved for a special friend. So Peter, Kenneth, Aigara and crew, you have to pay. That didn't belong to you.
So now the whole church is in laughter. They're in stitches because apparently that whiskey was meant for someone special. And the president insisted it was his. So the boys get in a panic. What do we do? What do we do? We need to replace that same bottle. And we said, oh man, what if we give him just any bottle? He wouldn't know. He says, no, guys, it's principle. Bob would have done this. So what do? We get on the net. Barrett and PK and PQ and JO and Barrett, everyone. They all get together and we're all looking for this special bottle. By the way, they had only made 148 or so of that same bottle in the world. 148, all distributed to whiskey connoisseurs. So, Barrett, especially BT, he went out of his way and he found a bottle somewhere deep in Ireland. And he says, you know what, before the president sends someone to pay that fine or to ask for that fine, we need to get that bottle here as soon as we can. So guess what we did? We had that special bottle shipped nicely in case it breaks on the way. It came all the way to Kenya, made its way, and is still sitting at BT's house. We're still waiting for that invitation to go and pay our fine because, this is what Bob would have liked. This was the kind of man this man was. He was a gentle soul. He had a dry sense of humor, British at that. By the way, he was originally from Guyana, right? Guyana. Where's Guyana, you ask yourself? It's somewhere deep in the Caribbean. And that's where he grew up. And made it and grew up with his grandmother raised him for the first 16 years before he moved to the UK to live with his mother. And then after that, he was accepted to Warwick University. Couldn't afford the fee. So he started working. And the rest, as they say, is history. From stints in London to Japan to South Africa, eventually ending up as the CEO of Safaricom in Kenya. What a man. What a man. And this past week, we celebrated his first anniversary, and it was literally a celebration. And in there, his wife, one boy, put together a 2-hour jazz special with inserts of various people, what they thought of Bob. By the way, the boys got together at some point and we said, you know what, let's write a letter to Bob. Let's write him a letter. Tell him, give him an update of what's happened since he left us a year before. And I tell you, so much has happened, as you well know. So we put together this letter and the boys asked me to talk to Bob, to voice it out, to play it out. And I did. Take a look. I'm part of what is known as the Boys Club. A group of people that Bob put together many years ago, and we stayed together up until he passed away, and we're still together. Now the boys came together and they said, listen, why don't we write a letter to Bob? Wherever he is, what if we gave him an update of what's happened in the last 1 year? So we put together a letter and they asked me to read it. And here goes. Dear Bob, or BC, or Captain, it is exactly a year since you left us. 365 days. Time does indeed fly, and it seems time has stood still at the same time. Wambui and the kids are doing great, missing you more than ever. And the boys too are doing well. Although PQ's wife, Gifty, left us just a few weeks ago and should be somewhere where you are. By the way, if you run into her, welcome her and tell her to keep resting in peace. Oh, while you were away, something unimaginable happened. The world stopped. I mean, literally. There was a virus that came out of China. They called it COVID-19 or Corona. And it put everything on hold. Flights ground to a halt. Mad traffic on the highways disappeared. Sports, that's right, sports was completely halted. Boom, just like that. Movement across the globe ceased and the virus spread like wildfire. Right now, as we speak, nearly 10 million people across the planet have tested positive for the virus. It's like we are playing out scenes from a Hollywood horror movie. All of them frozen in time. Imagine you, Bob, you not having to travel on road trips across the globe. No jazz concerts in New York, no Formula One events to attend, no tennis, no cricket games, no outdoor activities, no contact with humans, unless you wore a mask. You, Bob, you, the captain, not having fist bumps or bear hugs and gentle pats on the back. Imagine that. Instead, now we elbow bump or shoe tap each other, and we all have to wear masks at all times, and we wash our hands all day long. We get our temperatures checked every time we walk into malls, and we get our hands sanitized every time we walk into grocery stores. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But it's the new normal. And life as we know it before has changed forever. Now, despite all this, the boys continue where you left them off, although we don't meet as often as we would like to. BT is still BT, the billionaire with the blue chip company. PK is busy getting wealthier by the day and purchasing fancy automobiles as a pastime. By the way, J.O. didn't get the job that you wanted him to get, but he's busy managing and running the biggest bank in all of the region. PQ is coping and managing as best he can. AKS is still under house arrest, but he's doing good. Lamine is still in Lagos, where he continues to thrive. As for the diaspora boys, well, they're doing great too. JP is in Trumpland. Enough said. The Rev is still doing his outdoor activities, now based in Addis, and Bart is still running the show in Brussels. As for me, I'm doing well. I miss you, my friend. I miss you more than you ever know. There's not a day that passes that I don't think about you. Your larger-than-life presence, your dry humor, your huge, full-toothed smile, your calm and reassuring confidence. I miss you, and we miss you, and one boy misses you, and kids miss you. We all miss you. 365 days and counting. It all seems to have gone in a flash. Well, at the same time, it seems to have stood still. Keep holding the fort out there, BC. Till we meet again. Love, the boys. Yeah, those were our memories of this man, and the memories will live forever. The Bob Collymore Foundation has been set up, so every year we'll be having celebrations, and all the monies will be going towards helping folks who want to make it in life, folks from the inner city, folks that Bob would have loved to help out, whether it's in music, in film, in television, in the arts, all kinds of arts, painting. Those are the people who will be helped by this foundation, founded by this man whose memory will live forever and ever. Rest in peace, Bob. By the way, you might be wondering why I keep a photograph of this man in my office, my home office. This was given to each and every one of the boys by Bob's wife, Wamboi. She told us, listen, keep it somewhere special. And I prefer to keep it right here in my own office at home. By the way, Wamboi, thanks so much for that dinner you hosted for the boys to celebrate 1 year since Bob left us. It was fantastic. PK was there, PQ was there, BT was there, JO was there, and JK, and of course, Wamboi representing Bob. I appreciate that. God bless you. So, guys, subscribe if you can to Jeff Koinange Live on YouTube. Check it out. And we'll be bringing you all these excerpts every time we can. Stories like this, real stories in real time. Thanks to you guys. As long as you subscribe, we'll keep giving you the stories, keep telling you the stories, keep relaying the stories, just to keep legacies like my friend here. Legacies like this alive. Rest in peace, my friend Bob. Rest in peace wherever you are. Rest with the angels until we meet again.